All right, good afternoon. We're here to announce important law enforcement action which occurred this morning in both Mercer and Lawrence counties. Before talking about the substance of those actions, let me introduce the people with me here today. To my right is Mike Nordwall, who is the Special Agent in charge of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Pratt, the Special Agent in charge of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Also speaking today will be Peter Acker, the Mercer County District Attorney, and Josh Lamancusa, the Lawrence County District Attorney, as well as Captain William Maitland from the Pennsylvania State Police. Also with me, but not speaking today, are from the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office, Ben Wagaman, the Regional Director, and Assistant Deputy Chief Gary Talent. Chief Robert Salem from the Newcastle Police Department, Chief Edward Stabile from the Sharon Police Department, Deputy Chief Joel Ristvay from the Hermitage Police Department, and Detective Charles Rubano from the Faro Police Department are also joining me. And all of those agencies, of course, participated fully in the actions today. On Tuesday, a federal grand jury in Pittsburgh returned 2 indictments charging 25 individuals with drug trafficking. Most of the defendants are from Mercer County, but 3 of them are from Lawrence County. The conspiracy, as charged, covers the period between June 2020 and June 2021. The indictments are part of an organized crime drug enforcement task force investigation, which was led cooperatively by the FBI, the DEA, and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office. The agents, working with our Assistant U.S. Attorney, used a variety of investigative techniques to make this case, including court-authorized wiretaps of cell phones of some of the members of the conspiracy. The investigation revealed that many of the defendants are part of a close-knit unit who are connected through family and friendship, and some have previous felony convictions, including drug trafficking convictions. The investigation has revealed that the subjects are involved in acquiring heroin, fentanyl, cocaine, crack, as well as other controlled substances, including methamphetamine, from interstate sources of supply, and then distributing those drugs. The investigation further revealed that several of the defendants are significant sources of supply for other drug dealers throughout Mercer and Lawrence County and beyond. We also charged some of these defendants with distributing drugs near playgrounds, schools, and public housing communities, which is a separate federal crime. This morning, federal, state, and local law enforcement are already in custody. They also executed search warrants at a number of locations in Pennsylvania. We undertook this investigation with a single goal in mind: to significantly improve public safety. Residents of Western Pennsylvania deserve to feel safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods, and we think that removing these drug traffickers from our streets will help restore the quality of life to the law-abiding citizens in both Mercer and Lawrence counties. As you can tell, this investigation involved tremendous cooperation and coordination among all levels of law enforcement. I want to recognize and thank all of the federal, state, county, and municipal agencies who worked and who continue to work on this case. The credit for the success of this operation goes to all of them. And now let me turn over to Special Agent in charge, Nordwall.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Mike Nordwall, Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Pittsburgh Division. You just heard the acting U.S. on the investigation in today's operation. This was a year-long investigation that involved a lot of different investigative techniques and the diligent hard work of my agents and that of our law enforcement partners you see here today. As a result of the operation today, we've now taken alleged drug dealers off the streets. We know many times where there's drugs, there's also violence. So now there are fewer individuals on the street to commit an act of violence or deal drugs that could result in an overdose or even a death. This is good news for the community, but I also want to talk about how we got to this point. It all comes down to one word, and that's partnerships. The FBI opened an office in this area just a little over a year ago because we wanted to assist our partners in making this community safer. It is great to see the results of our collective efforts coming together today in this operation. No one agency could do it by itself. Our greatest weapon is unity. Unity built on intelligence and interagency cooperation. And that includes cooperation with. We still need help from our community. From today's operation, there are still 4 fugitives that were charged as part of this conspiracy. They are Forrest Gilmore, Jamal Johnson, Jimmy Gadsden, and Michael Love. For additional details on these individuals, you can find it on the Pittsburgh FBI Twitter feed. These men should be considered armed and dangerous. And if you have any information, we ask you to call the FBI at 412-432-4000. I think it's important for people to know that those who deal drugs or commit acts of violence on our streets will face the capabilities and authorities at both the state, the local, and the federal level. We are all in this together to make our community safer. So I want to thank everyone standing here today. We couldn't do it without you, and thank you for your assistance. I turn it over to DEA Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Paris Pratt.
Today is another great example of how law enforcement can effectively work together in Western PA. On behalf of DEA Pittsburgh, I would like to say thank you to our local, state, and federal partners for their support and cooperation in this case.
This investigation was no small task.
And this is absolutely a win for Mercer and Lawrence counties.
Everyone should understand that your law enforcement community
In Western PA is willing and able to investigate and arrest anyone selling drugs in Western PA. Additionally, I believe today's success is largely due to law enforcement's dedication, respect, and
understanding of each other's goals and strengths. In closing, if you need assistance
from DEA Pittsburgh, please call 412-287-3829 or visit
DEA.gov. Thank you. Next, I would like to introduce Mercer County
District Attorney Peter Acker.
Thank you. I'm Pete Acker. I'm the District Attorney in Mercer County. We have a great partnership of federal and state law enforcement agencies. We could not do what has been done without them. The list of people that were indicted is a who's who of significant drug dealers in Mercer County. Some of them we've already arrested and prosecuted, but the federal government has a far bigger hammer than we do at the state, and we're grateful for that. I cannot emphasize enough the cooperation we receive from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, the DEA, the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, the state police, and our local law enforcement, who are the source of most of the good tips that we have. We work with them closely. Our Mercer County, unfortunately, is being overrun by drug dealers and drugs, many of them from out of state. Many of the drugs are coming in from out of state, and with the help of our partners, we aggressively attack those and intend to prosecute them. We've very aggressively attacked people involved in drug delivery resulting in death, and we've been successful in getting those convictions, but our work is far from over. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joshua Lamancusa, and I'm the District Attorney in Lawrence County. As you've heard already, I'm sure it's become very clear and obvious that one of the themes that is oftentimes discussed between law enforcement officers, whether it's at the federal, state, or local level, is that of cooperation. And I don't have much to add to the investigation or to anything that United States Attorney Kaufman has not already stated, but I do want to highlight that this success, like all of the previous successes that we've had over the last couple of years, is directly attributed to the cooperative efforts of the federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. We learned that we are most effective when we combine our resources, when we assign our best and brightest individuals to specialized units, and we work together under one chain of command with a unified goal. Today I would like to thank the United States Attorney's Office, the FBI, the DEA, the Attorney General, the Mercer County Drug Task Force, the Mercer County Law Enforcement Officers, the Pennsylvania State Police, and the Lawrence County Drug Task Force. Our Special Investigations Unit is made up of individuals from the city of Newcastle, Shenango Township, Pulaski, Elwood City, and I just want to conclude by saying, may we always remember what is possible when we work together. Thank you. I do have the privilege of introducing Captain William Maitland, a Pennsylvania State Trooper who I like to consider a friend. Please.
Hello, like they said, I'm Captain William Maitland of the Pennsylvania State Police. I'm here today with Major Jeff Fisher, who's the Area 1 Commander, and on behalf of Colonel Ivanchik and the rest of the Pennsylvania State Police, I want to thank everybody for being here. The State Police is thrilled to work with our law enforcement partners, including the municipal, county, state, federal partner. A lot of agencies obviously contributed to this investigation, and it proves we're successful when we work together. This also proves that the state police and every agency represented here today are dedicated to the battle against illegal drug trafficking, and as was stated before, this battle is not over. We'll continue to conduct these types of investigations in conjunction with our law enforcement partners. The Pennsylvania State Police was not the lead investigating agency, but our members from our Bureau of Criminal Investigation, along with uniformed patrol members from the Troop D, Newcastle, and Mercer stations, assisted in various ways. I want to take this opportunity to thank the people involved in this investigation, including from the Attorney General's office, the Newcastle Police Department, the Sharon Police Department, Hermitage Police Department, Farrell PD, the DEA, and the FBI, and especially the prosecutors who, without their full commitment, this would not be possible. So thank you, District Attorney Acker, District Attorney Lemakusa, and U.S. Attorney Steve Coughlin. We appreciate everything you do for us and your support, and look forward to working with all these agencies in the future moving forward. Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we'll be glad to attempt to answer any questions you may have. We may have to defer some of them, but we will do our best.
So this is obviously a significant investigation that has a lot of moving parts, I'm sure. How did this get going? How did this start in the first place that eventually led it to such a broad scope?
Well, we don't really talk about exactly how things start, but we get information regarding subjects and targets in an area, and eventually develop probable cause to be able to go up through court-authorized wiretaps on cell phones of members of the conspiracy, and used, as I said, other law enforcement techniques, including the obvious technique today of executing search warrants at the same time that arrests were being made.
Did this begin focused on an individual, or was it a broad scope from the start?
No, it's really, typically, with federal investigations, we're not just focusing on one individual, we're focusing on a drug trafficking organization, and that would be the case here as well.
Most of the focus of this was on pretty dangerous drugs, fentanyl, crack, things like that. I didn't see any mention of marijuana. Is that something that the federal government is still cracking down on, or are you guys kind of getting away from that?
Well, marijuana is still illegal under federal law, and again, if there's a major drug organization trafficking marijuana, that's still something that we're interested in. This particular drug trafficking organization, was charged with, as you said, heroin, fentanyl, crack cocaine, methamphetamine, and so forth. I might note that it's becoming more common these days to see both individuals and organizations trafficking all those different types of drugs. In the old days, it was more common for someone to be a heroin dealer or a cocaine dealer. Polydrug distribution's more typical these days, and that's what we saw here. And you see charged in count 1 of the major indictment.
Do you have any idea what quantities of drugs, cash, guns were seized during the search warrants today?
We don't like to give specific quantities, but would either Mike or Paris like to talk to that?
Sure, I'll
Speak to
touch on
that?
it. We won't, and it's still, the operation's still ongoing, so we still have, we don't have final numbers, but we have seized significant quantities of illegal drugs, firearms, and currency. But I don't want to give a number out because it's bound to not be correct because that's changing. So.
Okay.
Is there a photo ability of some of these drugs and cash that you guys did collect so we can put it out there?
Yeah, as the federal government, we don't do that. Believe it or not, it's Department of Justice rules. We don't do spreads of cocaine and cash, and we don't release mugshots of defendants. Don't blame me.
Are you able to disclose any of the locations where any of this happened, or was there any further crimes at these locations, assaults, thefts, things like that tie in?
Yeah, we don't typically disclose all the specific locations. That evidence, will come out. And I don't believe there's any incidents this morning that we should talk about or that occurred.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of at this point.
So yeah, everything went smoothly today from what I'm told, except that we are looking for the 4 defendants that Special Agent Nordwall named for all of you. And it's pretty typical in a large takedown that not every single defendant is arrested that morning, but we expect that they will be.
Are these individuals in the county jails, or are they going to federal prison today?
Well, they're being processed on a federal arrest today, so they'll be held in. Let me go back. In every case, we move for detention on some defendants, perhaps not on others, where we agree to bond. So those defendants are moved for trial. They'd be entitled to a hearing, and if a judge orders that they're detained without bond, then they'll be held in federal custody.
I have a quick question for Special Agent Pratt. Yes. I know the DEA has been doing a lot of work in Lawrence County, specifically working with and others around these type of issues. How much of that cooperation that I know goes back at least a few years help contribute in this case?
Well, relationships are everything, and the DA has been extremely helpful and a professional in all manners with the DEA. So it made work easy for us to work out here in Lawrence County, as well as every other county, but specifically the DA here is really receptive and embraced DEA much.
Anything else, Greg? Yeah, but you guys mentioned that there was drug activity in schools and playgrounds. So were those in Mercer and Lawrence County?
Yeah, you can see in the indictment, and I don't mean to say in schools or on the playgrounds. Federal law prohibits distributing drugs within 1,000 feet of a playground or a school or a public housing community. So you'll see those charges in the indictment.
Obviously, this is a lot of people that have been indicted, and of course, 21 of the 25 are now behind bars. Is the idea being that, of course, the drug traffic and trade is going to continue, but that this is going to take a significant dent out of what's currently happening right now in Lawrence and Mercer counties?
Yes, that's certainly what we believe will happen, and that's the idea, to really put a halt to this group that was a major player in those 2 counties.
What level of drug dealers are these that you're arresting today? Are they middle level or upper level, or?
Again, I don't want to characterize any of the defendants, but anytime we have a large number of defendants charged in a wiretap case, typically all levels are charged because they're all involved in conversations on the wiretap. These defendants have all been charged with crimes that carry a mandatory 5-year prison sentence in federal court if convicted. So that shows you that we felt there are certainly some significant quantities without getting into numbers. All right, anything else? Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.